Could you please tell us who you are?
Yeah, my name's Andy House-Higgins.
And what character are you portraying today?
Today I'm playing Major John Pitcairn of the Royal Marines.
I'm familiar with Major John Pitcairn. How did you get involved in reenacting?
I was the same age as my son here. I was 14, and I joined a French infantry unit in England back in 1985. My first event was at Scarborough Castle, and it was a transformative moment for me in my life. I met adults that were able to have a lot of fun and do something interesting and different, and I've never looked back. I've been doing it ever since.
What year was that?
1984.
1984.
Yeah. Which gives you how old I am.
Tell me about your outfit.
So this is a junior officer's uniform. This was the gorget as part of the medieval armour of the knights, and they retained it to distinguish the officer class. The lower rank officers had a single epaulette. The higher ranking officers had a double epaulette. So you couldn't actually tell what rank your officers were by the number of epaulettes or the uniform style. You had to know them individually as people to understand which ranks that they were portraying. I had my sword, I've got my officer's sash, and of course my wig.
About how much money do you have invested in today's outfit?
In this particular one?
Yes.
Probably about £2,000.
£2,000. Okay.
I don't deal in continental currency. It devalues too quickly.
What values since you are portraying a British officer, what values did the officers have that you would like your audience to understand?
Well, in the case of Major John Pitcairn, he was the son of a minister. He joined the Royal Marines because the commissions were much cheaper to buy. So he wasn't a man of incredible means financially. And so he joined the army predominantly to find a career because he didn't want to be a minister. So then he was deployed to North America. The values, the men loved him. And so the esprit de corps that the British were trying to establish in the regimental system, he was very much part of that.
Did you become an American citizen?
No, I have not yet. I've just renewed my green card 2 days ago.
Do you intend to become an American citizen?
I'm not sure. By the time this green card runs out, I'll be ready to retire. And so I wanted to retain my British passport so I have the opportunity to retire in the EU.
Do you miss Britain?
Not so much now. No, all my family's here. My lovely wife and my 2 children have grown up being Americans. I have no intention of moving back to England now because all of my family's passed away, both my brother and my parents. So this is my home.
What advice do you have for people that are just beginning to consider being reenactors?
I would say predominantly go in with an attitude of learning, having fun, and being a member of the community in a productive and proactive way, because that's the sort of members that we really need, who bring enthusiasm and energy and a sense of fun into the hobby. Everything else, the accuracy of the uniform, building a portrayal, those sorts of things can come over time. But initially, if you're come in with a sense of enthusiasm and fun and a willingness to learn.
What is the importance of teaching about the American Revolutionary period? Do you try and present what the British believed at that time to American audiences?
I do, yes. I think the narrative is well established in the US today from the American side. And of course, with any conflict, there are always 2 sides to it. And so I think ultimately it's beneficial from an educational standpoint just to at least have an understanding and an acknowledgement that there are other narratives that to other people at the time were equally as important, that obviously through the American victory have been lost to history.
What are some of those things, those British values that you think might have been lost to American history?
Well, there certainly was a lot of empathy amongst the British officer class for the cause in America. All all is the incorrect word, but a good majority of the British officer corps declined to service and take commissions in North America because they felt that it was a civil, fratricidal conflict that could be politically resolved.
Mm-hmm. So that's a story that most Americans are unaware of, the number of the British that did not want to come over here because they considered Americans fellow British citizens?
Absolutely. And Lord Chatham was the leader of the opposition in the House of Lords. He had been the Prime Minister during the French Indian Wars earlier on. By this period, he was an older man and was an emphatic supporter of the American colonies. Poured a huge, I think, $130 million into the war to ensure that there was a positive outcome for the British citizens. And yet, 15 years later, a very small period of time, we were in a conflict of independence. And so there'd been an enormous political and economic change after the French Indian War that had caused the revolution. And many people in Britain, including members of Parliament, certainly did not support the position of the government, which was under Lord North and Germain quite confrontational.